We'd been married for 3 years, an arranged bond between an alpha and me, and he was still cold as ice to me. He never took the initiative, never reached for me, even during my heat. He treated everything like a duty to complete. Whenever I softened even a little, he pulled away without hesitation, never caring about how stuck and frustrated I was. He'd rather take care of himself than spare me a second glance. Feeling hopeless and burning with need, I started thinking about divorce. But then I accidentally overheard him complaining to his closest friend. Every time we're halfway through, he clearly feels something, but he still refuses to let me get any closer. As expected, homegrown flowers can't compare to wild ones. Sounds like some cute boy outside has stolen his heart. I'll never be able to warm him up. The voice on the phone was carefree and loud. Come on, 3-legged frogs are rare, but 2-legged omegas, easy to find. Kick him out. I'll find you someone gorgeous. But my so-called nemesis suddenly went quiet. His voice dropped. Don't say that. He only made the same mistake any omega could make. In the end, it's some outside alpha who tried to lure a married omega. As long as he's willing to come home, it means he still has me in his heart. My head felt foggy, and my gland was burning hot. I curled up uncomfortably on the huge bed. Through the half-open door, I stared blankly toward the entrance. By timing, my heat shouldn't come for a few more days. But somehow it arrived early. And of course, Austin just had to be out at a business dinner tonight. Even though I called him the moment I felt it coming, all I got were 3 cold words. I'll hurry back. The beep of the disconnected call pressed against my chest, making my nose sting. We'd been married 3 years, and Austin was always the same, distant and controlled. Never reaching out, never crossing the line, always maintaining the perfect amount of distance. For a long time, I thought he had someone outside, that marrying me was just for show. But after hiring more private investigators than I could count and digging through every corner of his life, there was only one conclusion. No lovers, no flirting, clean as a saint, almost scarily clean. Hearing that gave me a tiny bit of hope. I swallowed my pride and tried to care for him, hoping things might warm between us. But it was useless. Austin stayed the same, disciplined and distant. He gave me the best life possible, fulfilling even the most casual things I said. He respected me, accommodated me, just never loved me. Even during my heat, he treated everything like a business appointment. If he heard even the slightest sound from me, he'd immediately pull away. He'd rather hide in the bathroom and deal with himself, leaving me so embarrassed I wanted to crawl into a hole. After it happened enough times, I couldn't even force a smile anymore. I was a normal omega, too. I wanted a normal, happy intimacy. So tonight, I put on nothing but a loose robe, planning to try one last time. If things were still the same, I'd divorce him. Even if I had to walk out with nothing. Blake. The front door was kicked open. Austin's voice came through, breathless. He leaned weakly against the doorframe, and under the dim hallway light, I could see everything clearly. His usually perfect suit was a mess, hanging open. His chest rose and fell hard. His hair was disheveled, strands falling over his forehead. His lips were pale, the corners of his eyes slightly red. He looked completely undone. While I stared in shock, he pushed the bedroom door open and came straight toward me. My fingers trembled as I clutched the blanket, but I steeled myself, threw the blanket aside, and with bare feet, I threw myself into his arms. Austin's body stiffened, his eyes darted away, his breathing quick and uneven. Maybe the fever was getting to my head, but the warm, wine-like scent around him felt like it could drown me. Blake. Austin called my name in a strained voice. My face felt hot, so I decided to just rip the bandage off. I'm in heat. I need you. Help me. His shadowed eyes were unreadable, but the pressure against my stomach told me he definitely felt something. Annoyed, I pushed forward against him. Instantly, Austin's breathing grew heavier. His strong arms wrapped around me, holding me tightly. He nuzzled against me like an eager dog, kissed my neck, brushed my ear. His whole body trembling, his mind seeming to float somewhere far away. My knees weakened, a faint ringing filled my ears, and my vision blurred. Blake, thank you for giving me this chance. This time, I'll take good care of you. If anything feels wrong, don't hold back, just bite me and I'll stop. His voice buzzed in my ears non-stop, annoyingly earnest. I kicked his calf in irritation. I had to admit, Austin was skilled, and he knew what he was doing. It didn't take long before I was breathing hard, voice slipping out of me without control. Another wave hit me, leaving my body trembling on its own. No, don't. Suddenly, the warmth in front of me disappeared. A large stretch of skin was left exposed to the cool air, and I shivered. My head cleared instantly. Austin stood beside the bed like a block of wood, his long fingers gripping his belt so tightly his knuckles were white. I turned my head a little and caught a glimpse of him, still clearly affected. Great, here we go again. Even when he was obviously uncomfortable, he still stopped halfway. Wasn't it because he didn't like me? Because the sight of me made him sick? Wasn't he just trying to tell me, I only marked you because it was my duty as your husband? I don't love you, and I'll never fall with you. Heat season was already awful. Being left hanging like this made it even worse. My chest burned with frustration. And then I looked at Austin's completely unreadable face. That did it. Get out. Who are you scowling at? You're ruining the whole mood. I'm not as pathetic as you think. Honestly, just seeing your face right now makes me nauseous. I yelled at him without holding back, but he just stood there, staring at me with hazy eyes. Strangely hurt. In the end, I shoved him aside. I forced myself up, stumbling as I headed toward the small lounge next door. Mom, Dad, I'm divorcing Austin. No big reason. Just telling you first so you don't freak out later. My mind was made up. The next morning, I called my parents. Silence on the other end. After a long moment, my dad spoke first. Blake, did Austin bully you? If he dared lay a hand on you, we'd fight to the end for you, even if it ruins our investments. But marriage isn't a joke. You need to think carefully. Don't let your temper lead you. Mom chimed in immediately. Blake, sweetie, you've been hot-tempered since you were little. You can't tolerate even a grain of sand in your eye. But your dad and we can see Austin genuinely cares about you. You're always spending money like water, always arguing with him, and Austin just smiles and lets you have your way. He's polite and caring with us too. Anyone can see he treats you with real affection. With his personality, he'd never do anything outrageous. Great, even my own parents were taking his side. My chest tightened with anger. I dragged my best friend to a club for the whole day, then raced cars all night. As dawn broke, I drove home with a blank face. Austin was sitting on the sofa, motionless. His chin was rough with stubble, his clothes wrinkled, nothing like the polished, elite image he usually had. I went to pour myself a glass of water. Suddenly, strong arms wrapped around me from behind. Austin rested his chin on my shoulder, a little scratchy. His warm breath brushed my neck. That familiar wine-like scent drifted around me, mixed with something heavier tonight. Blake, Blake. He called my name again and again. I answered weakly, but he didn't say anything back for a while. Then came a whisper so soft it was almost shaky. I heard from your parents that you want to divorce me. Did I mess up? I can change. Do they know what you like to eat? Do they know your favorite color? Do they know how much sugar you put in your coffee or what scent helps you sleep? They can't take care of you the way I do. So, please let me stay by your side. Don't throw me out. Austin's voice tightened with emotion. He was always the calm, untouchable one, always composed and in control. I had never seen him like this. My throat stung a little, but dragging things out wasn't going to bring either of us warmth. He didn't love me, at least that's what I believed. I pulled out of his arms, and turned to face him. You don't love me. Let's let each other go. One day, you'll meet someone you truly want to protect. Then I fled, embarrassed and overwhelmed. But I love you. Austin whispered it too softly, and I left too quickly. So the words never reached me. Since I'd already decided on divorce, we had to sort out the finances. Years ago, when my family's company hit a crisis and the funds ran dry, Austin was the one who stepped in with a huge sum and saved us. We fought often, sure, but Austin had never done anything that truly wronged me. I wasn't heartless. I wouldn't repay kindness with cruelty. These 2 days, I was sorting through assets while preparing compensation for Austin. I was exhausted, physically drained, mentally worn, my chest feeling weighed down by a giant stone. But it was fine. It was temporary. Time would smooth everything out. After the divorce, he'd take his road, and I'd take mine. Eventually, life would get better. That's what I kept telling myself. After hesitating with my phone for ages, I finally made a call. Hi, Auntie. No need to walk Tate this afternoon. I'll go visit him later. She sounded thrilled. Oh good, good. You have no idea how much weight Tate's put on these days, like a tiny truck. That rascal is getting smarter too. Woof, woof woof. The big chubby dog clearly didn't appreciate that description. Even through the phone, I could hear his offended barking. Auntie chatted a bit more before hanging up reluctantly. That afternoon, before I even stepped inside the villa, a massive golden blur launched itself at me like a falling mountain. I staggered back, almost falling over. It hadn't even been that long since I last saw him, yet the already chubby golden retriever had become even rounder. His fur was smooth and shiny, practically puffed out like a well-groomed balloon. He circled my legs in excitement, his tail smacking my calves with the force of a small weapon. I crouched down and rubbed his big muzzle. You're huge. At this rate, you'll roll instead of walk. Woof, RRFF. Tate huffed dramatically. I only got more playful and poked at his soft belly. You little piglet. Maybe I should call you Labber Pig from now on. After messing around with Tate for a while, my mood finally felt lighter. After calming myself down, I wanted to find Austin and have a proper talk. But when I got home, the living room was pitch dark, everything exactly as I'd left it. Austin wasn't home. I felt a twinge of disappointment, but didn't think much of it. I shuffled into my slippers, grabbed the robe off the couch, changed quickly, and padded toward the bedroom. Just as I reached the door, my ears perked up. Someone was in the room. The plan you suggested doesn't work. My wife doesn't want me now. She wants a divorce. Austin's voice sounded muffled and low. Just hearing it, I couldn't help picturing him like a big, pitiful alpha dog looking up helplessly. I almost felt sorry for him. But the next second, I thought of all the ridiculous things he'd done, and my anger flared. What good is being handsome? What good is pheromone mastery? What good is skill if I can't even enjoy it? If I couldn't, then he was worthless. I felt it halfway through, but stubbornly refused to let me get closer. I know it was all one-sided. I forced him. I should have seen this coming before we married, but I used it as leverage anyway. Am I disgusting, pathetic? Austin had clearly opened up the floodgates. The normally cold and quiet man was suddenly talking non-stop, spilling everything over the network. After a long pause, the reply came, full of scorn and exasperation. Three-legged frogs are rare, but two-legged omegas, not hard to find. Blake already has a puppy and a canary, and you're still siding with him? Are you out of your mind? Take my advice, cut it clean. I'll find you a top-notch omega. Refusing to be touched, puppies and canaries, pure slander. I might be flirtatious, a bit mischievous, and full of schemes, but I had principles. I'd never cheat once we were married. Even after 3 years of Austin ignoring me, I'd only sulked silently, never crossed the line. And now someone had the audacity to accuse me of cheating. I came in expecting to just listen casually, but now I was furious. I had to hunt down the jerk spreading lies about me and give him a proper lesson. Austin's voice came through, full of displeasure. Don't let me hear you say that about him. He's young. It's normal to be playful. He just made a mistake any omega could make. In the end, it was the outside alpha seducing him. None of it's his fault. I froze. My eyes went wide, my mouth slightly open. What kind of twisted logic was this? And the idea of Austin, so serious-faced, saying something like this, it was surreal. But as long as he comes home, it means he still has me in his heart. Don't forget, you were supposed to give me advice. The other person on the line was clearly experienced. After thinking for a while, they came up with a bizarre but somewhat logical solution. Homegrown flowers can't compare to wild ones. The outside alpha is just flaunting himself. When he's serious, he's always proper and reserved, but in private he can let go. You've been around him every day. Naturally, he's grown a little tired of routine. Austin's response grew quieter. He seemed to accept that reasoning. Then the other side switched tone. But your strategy is excellent. I'll send you some tutorial videos and a few outfits for practice. Once you learn it, handling an omega will be easy. After a few more casual remarks, the call ended. I slipped quietly into the side bedroom. I didn't fully understand Austin's thoughts, but one thing was clear. He liked me, really liked me. This story is exclusively produced by the YouTube channel, Omegaverse Tales Studio. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. The sudden realization made my blood boil, my heart pound as if it would leap from my chest. I couldn't wait to grab him and settle everything, to reclaim our world together. As it turned out, Austin's friend worked fast. In just over half an hour, a delivery guy showed up with a huge bag of stuff. Austin grabbed it eagerly, closing the door and immediately rummaging through it. Through the small crack of the door, I caught glimpses of what was inside. Bells, cat ears, black and white fabrics. I couldn't help wanting to burst in and see everything properly. Austin, however, fumbled and shoved it all back in the bag. The warm hallway light revealed a suspicious blush on his ears. Timing it perfectly, I stood by Austin's door. Unlike before, excitement coursed through me. I felt like I could run 3 miles, or take Austin down right here on the bed. My hand trembled slightly at my side. I fought the urge to whistle mischievously. I knocked gently on the door. Inside, things clattered to the floor, and a bell jingled crisply. "Can I come in now?" I asked, with a mischievous grin. The bell jingled louder. I didn't give Austin time to tidy up. I kicked open the bedroom door and strode in confidently. Our eyes met. Austin's face blazed from his neck to the tips of his ears. He looked like a cooked shrimp. He bit his lip in embarrassment, hands flailing as if caught with nowhere to hide. Trapped. My gaze widened. I couldn't help staring at him. Pale, well-defined chest muscles exposed to the air, a six-pack with smooth lines, and somehow, a red ribbon tied across his chest. A black leather collar with studs encircled his neck, a small bell hanging perfectly in the center. With every rise and fall of his chest, the ribbon fluttered, the bell chiming crisply through the room. I clicked my tongue. In a mock scolding tone, I warned, "There's still someone else in the house. Behave yourself." Austin looked like he was about to melt. He stammered, eyes glossy with panic. The poor guy couldn't get a single word out. I pretended to leave, lowering my lashes, but Austin blocked my path before I could move. His strong, jointed hand gripped my wrist. Was he about to confess? I rubbed my hands together nervously, excitement sparking. My eyes shone as I looked at him. Instead, he lowered his head and hovered near my calf. Then he abruptly let go and stepped back. "It's cold outside. Remember to wear an extra jacket." The sharp, decisive businessman I knew was nowhere to be found. And here he was, acting completely flustered in front of me. Having an alpha like this, I could only tolerate a little more. Divorce? As if that was an option. I reached out, pretending casually, and tugged at the ribbon across his chest. I pulled it lightly, then let go. It snapped back against his chest with a soft, teasing sound. "Very pretty. Looks good on you." I complimented sincerely. Austin froze for a moment. His eyes flickered, then couldn't help glancing at me. You like it?" His voice trembled slightly. His eyes sparkled, full of expectation. Time seemed to stretch endlessly. I was honest about my feelings. "I like it a lot. If it were a gift for me personally, I'd like it even more." I furrowed my brows, pretending to ponder. Of course, if the gift could magically appear right in front of me, I'd love it even more. Austin couldn't hold it in anymore. He grabbed my waist and tossed me onto the bed. Kneeling over me, he leaned in. The kiss that followed almost swallowed me whole. I had to admit, I wasn't the only one enjoying it. My vision went white, my body trembled, and I couldn't resist letting myself go toward him. Then, unexpectedly, Austin stopped. He looked at me seriously and asked the most frustrating question of the night. "Blake, can I have you?" Completely, without stopping. Damn it, my pants were off already, and he had the nerve to ask. I just nodded randomly. Moments later, I realized just how capable Austin was. I screamed and struggled forward, but every time I tried to pull away, a pair of strong hands clamped onto my waist, effortlessly dragging me back. I almost missed the old Austin, the one who'd stop when told. Dawn broke. Every inch of me ached. My lower body felt completely drained. Austin rested my head on his chest, then bent down and kissed my ear softly. "Blake, are my chest muscles big? Do my abs feel good to touch? Is my body strong enough? Am I taking care of you well?" He chattered non-stop in my ear. I glanced at him sideways, but still admitted honestly. Instantly, Austin's face lit up like a cat that just stole cream. He tightened his arms around me. "Then, you have me as your dog. The other one outside won't matter. If needed, I can find him another owner, or give him some money. He won't be left out." Wait, how did we jump to dogs? And Austin was boldly offering to be my dog? I adjusted my position, expression neutral, trying to straighten out his twisted logic. "Austin, dogs are dogs. People are people. You're my lover. No need to lower yourself." His lips pouted. "Not letting me be your dog?" But tonight, Austin had already gone overboard. His emotions were spilling everywhere. He lifted my leg, pointing to faint red marks on my calf. "You're usually careless, so you don't notice little things on yourself. But he's different. He knew you had an alpha and left these marks intentionally. He wanted to ruin your life. That's not love." My gaze flicked between Austin and my leg. Something felt off. And seeing how Austin had been so possessive tonight, I reached an unbelievable conclusion. "You think another alpha did this?" Austin didn't answer, but his expression screamed guilt. Clearly, he'd thought this all along but stayed silent, keeping up the pretense of propriety. Was I supposed to scold him, or scold him, or scold him? I grabbed my phone, unlocked it, and pulled up photos of the big golden retriever. "Here, this is the dog I have outside. I love animals, but you're allergic to dog hair, so I just keep him outside for a little fun. Why keep things bottled up? Ask if you have questions." Austin's shocked gaze met mine. He looked like he might shatter. "The marks on your leg? The big dog hit you with his tail. You shower every time before seeing me. I didn't want dog hair on you, sending you to the hospital." Not satisfied with an answer, Austin pressed on. "Then, why do you always feel good but make me stop?" I laughed, exasperated. I twisted Austin roughly. "Damn it, I'm not a block of wood. Of course I make sounds when it feels good, and if I say stop in bed, it means I want it to continue, you blockhead." All this nonsense had ruined 3 years of our marriage. I kicked him off the bed. Humph. Useless husband, sleep on your sofa. Since that night, Austin had changed completely. From top to bottom, inside and out, he radiated the warmth of being genuinely cared for. The quiet intensity had turned into open charm. Day by day, he was up before dawn. Exercise, shower, cooking delicious meals. Standing at my bedside like clockwork. Suit and tie, polished gentleman, open flirt. And I, completely helpless against him. Today, I left work exactly on time, as usual. The thought of Austin in a tight tank top and gray pants, cooking in the kitchen, made my mouth water. The moment I got home, I ran straight to the kitchen without looking anywhere else. Naturally, I smacked his firm, rounded backside a couple of times. Like a mischievous rogue, I tilted his chin up. Hey, beautiful, miss me, be good tonight, and I'll spoil you. Austin's ears went red. He flailed, trying to push my hands away, sending me nervous glances the whole time. After a moment of mental freeze, I seemed to remember something. I slowly turned my head, like I was preparing for battle. Seeing my parents' faces made me completely lose it. I wanted to disappear into the floor. Seeing me embarrassed, Austin quickly tried to smooth things over. It's okay. You two have been at that age too. Couples being clingy is perfectly normal. If you were too stiff about it, that's when we'd worry. This is fine. My dear dad pulled me aside for a lecture. Control yourself, kid. You're young. You're practically marinated in it already, be careful. I rolled my eyes ridiculously. Dad, maybe check yourself first. You're practically marinated by mom already and still telling me what to do. Dad was speechless. Even as a billionaire, Austin acted like a perfect little boy in front of my parents. No wonder they liked him so much. My eyes couldn't help lingering on the two of them chatting happily in the kitchen. Dinner was ready, the house lively and warm. Maybe, this was the life I had always wanted. Austin didn't pretend anymore when I was around. Like a showy peacock, he loved flaunting himself. Holding hands, must post on social media. Kisses, must post on social media. Even matching outfits, photos edited and posted for the world to see. Shameless captions included, how did you know my wife can't live without me, that even clothes have to match. When Austin called his friends to show off and got hung up on, then cuddled up to me to act spoiled, I couldn't help but feel a little sympathy for his friends. Having such an emotionally needy alpha, I don't know how they survived. But in a moment of carelessness, the shirt I'd just put on was violently torn by Austin. He nipped and sucked at me, with that mischievous but innocent face, whispering in my ear, Blake, the lace butler outfit I ordered arrived. I'll wear it for you tonight. Please coax me a little, will you? Faced with such charm, it was no surprise. I fell for it again. Lying in Austin's arms, feeling the warmth of his body and his strong heartbeat, my mind felt emptier than ever. I couldn't stop myself from asking a somewhat silly question. Austin, besides being a little good in bed, smart, and from a wealthy family, I don't have much else going for me. Why do you like me? Now that you're the famous Austin, what if you meet a young, beautiful, obedient Omega in the future and just toss me aside? I thought he'd say something sweet to reassure me. Instead, he just pulled me closer. He kissed the stray hairs on my forehead tenderly, and without hesitation, pressed the stock transfer contract from under the pillow into my hands. Blake, I love you now. The future is uncertain, but I won't allow future me to betray you. Sign your name, you and the company are mine now. So, Blake, pity me a little and let me spend my life by your side. I'd never want the company, Austin's life work, but the gesture. Austin, tell me your story. Hearing my request, he grinned like a lovesick fool, leaving faint, teasing marks along my collarbone. Blake, do you know, I've known you for a very long time. You were handsome, charming, everyone at school loved being around you. Every Friday after school, you'd gather with classmates at the barbecue behind the school. Watching you all laugh, clink glasses, and boast about your youthful dreams, I couldn't help but smile like an idiot. Back then, my family was poor, and I helped at the barbecue just to scrape by. Later, my parents died in a car accident, leaving me completely alone. The perpetrator fled, and all I had was an old, tiny house. Relatives who took me and seized the property and tossed me around like a ball. My world collapsed, my personality became extreme, and I hated the thought of even existing with those relatives around. But, you don't even remember. That day, drunk, you saw me by the curb and casually gave me a watch. That watch helped me finish college and survive the toughest time of my life. Austin pressed himself close to me, voice full of disbelief and joy. I thought we'd never cross paths in life, but I was lucky. The moon shone on me, and you fell into my arms. I found my moon. I swear, at first I just wanted to help him. But, being by his side, watching him quietly when he's tired, it felt even better than I imagined. I never expected it. This proud, flamboyant little master actually proposed marriage himself. It felt like a pie had just hit me in the face. The joy nearly blew my mind. I knew he wasn't a caged canary. Marrying an alpha I barely knew wasn't exactly a wise choice. If I had a conscience, saying no would have been the best option. But I was reckless. I kept silent about the past, and selfishly claimed my moon for myself. Of course, I wasn't granted another blessing by fate. Even though he tried hard to hide it, I could still see it. He didn't like me. I could even say he kind of disliked me. I looked forward to every moment with him, but feared every glance that showed his disinterest. My moon said go, I went. My moon said stop, I stopped. Honestly, controlling my desire and restraining myself was hard, but as long as my moon was happy, it was worth it. I liked to think of myself as a thoughtful alpha, yet he still didn't like me. He even had other dogs outside. I was jealous. If it weren't for his sake, I would have wiped them all out. Flirting with a married alpha, those weren't good alphas. It was they who spoiled my moon. I kept telling myself, a head alpha needs dignity. After all, alphas who are just passing through are temporary. Only I am the moon's final home. Even though I secretly learned countless techniques, my moon still wasn't satisfied. He wanted a divorce. I couldn't even satisfy my own omega. I felt like such a failure. Desperate, I turned to a friend for help. Shamefully, I wrapped myself up like a gift. It probably wouldn't do much, but I tried every prop on myself seriously. Then, my moon came, and my most embarrassing side was completely exposed. Would he think I was reckless? Would he doubt that I was a good husband? My heart raced as I awaited fate's judgment. But, fate seemed to play a huge joke on me. I actually saw satisfaction, excitement, and desire on my moon's face. So the naughty moon liked watching this. I finally understood. A husband's looks, a wife's honor. Beauty is my most powerful weapon. And now, I knew exactly how to wield it. My opinions and comments. Wow, reading this story always makes me pause and think about the delicate push and pull between Blake and Austin. Their relationship isn't just romance. It's this constant tension of desire, pride, and vulnerability. Austin's quiet care, mixed with his frustration, and Blake's boldness, yet hidden insecurities, it's like watching two worlds collide in the most intimate ways. I love how the story shows that love isn't always simple, and sometimes the smallest gestures mean the most. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey with Blake and Austin. If you enjoyed the story, please like, subscribe, and share to support Omegaverse Tales Studio. I can't wait to share more stories with you soon. Until next time, take care.